Hey there, Noble! It is I, Mr. Wilbur. It is Wednesday, May 6th. 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 It is Wednesday, May 6th. And these are your morning announcements. My laptop is dying. First thing, personally, I want to sincerely say thank you to all of you. Yesterday, 207 ran a story about these morning announcement videos. And then so many people, more than I could personally count, shared the video on Facebook. And the outpouring of sheer kindness and wonderful things people were saying actually brought me to tears. It was honestly overwhelming, to the point where for a large portion of yesterday I kind of shut down and couldn't get any work done. So sincerely, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who watches these videos and for all of the kind words. Also, huge shout out to Morgan Bill, Haley McNeely, and Tim Veit. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and being willing to talk to some reporters and be on the TV. And for all the awesome things you not only said about me, but you said about the entire staff of Noble High School. You guys are the best! Okay, so it's Wednesday. I feel like talking about music. Let's talk about music. First, a little reminder. During the first couple weeks of remote learning, Mr. Albert and myself were encouraging you all to send in a bunch of videos of you guys playing music. Mr. Albert compiled them into a YouTube playlist called the Noble at Home Concert Series. There aren't a ton of videos, I think there's like 8, but they're all awesome. I am constantly blown away by all of your talent. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the playlist, please do. There's incredible musicians on there. And let's get some more. There's a few weeks left in our remote learning. Send me some videos of you playing music. And to everybody who sent emails saying, Mr. Wilbur, are you gonna sing a song? It's been very difficult for me to find time to do anything, but I promise you, before the end of remote learning, I will post a video of me singing something. I don't know what yet. I'm thinking maybe an 80s pop song. Alright, so continuing to talk about music, I've received a ton of music recommendations the past couple weeks, and I listened to all of them. So I'm gonna take the time right now to review about 3 of them. I will get to the rest though. Maybe Monday? I don't know. Who even plans ahead? So here's another segment of Clueless Old Guy Music Reviews. First up, a student sent me a song by the artist Cavetown.
Satisfactory, you said you love me exactly the way I am. And you know I find it hard to understand.
I had never heard of Cavetown before, but I love, love, love this. It's like a perfect mixture of super earnest, homemade DIY music and legit pop sensibility. It's actually very similar to old school Tegan and Sarah, and the fact that the dude released his first record when he was 14, what it really reminds me of is an actually listenable Bright Eyes. The emo police are gonna come and cart me away for talking disparagingly about Conor Oberst.
When you listen to these songs, you can just picture him sitting at his computer, microphone and guitar in hand, with a drum set in the corner that he records lo-fi drums with, programming harmonies and stuff on his laptop.
He's so talented and so young that it makes you angry. But I guess that's what happens when your father is a musicologist and choir director, and your mother is a Baroque flautist and music teacher. Yeah, I looked him up on Wikipedia. Don't you look up everything you listen to? This next one is a little surprising. I don't mention anybody's names unless they specifically ask me to, but an 8th grade student sent me the song Jersey Girl by Tom Waits.
Down the street with you, sing sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la.
First of all, props to an 8th grader for not only knowing who Tom Waits is, but listening to them. But honestly, what more can be said about the legendary Tom Waits? Few people can pack their voice with so much emotion, gravel, and dirt as Tom Waits when he's singing love songs. Maybe Springsteen. The song is very Springsteen.
I have an interesting relationship with Tom Waits' music. He's like a soundtrack artist to me. Like, I never go out of my way to listen to him, but whenever his music shows up in a movie, it's like instant tears for me.
I cry a lot during movies. But yeah, this song is great. I love that he's giving it the gusto, like all he's got when he's singing the sha-la-las in the chorus. And lastly, someone suggested this song by Panic at the Disco.
Stop there in the
perspective. You come along because I love your face, and I'll admire your expensive taste. And who cares, divine intervention?
Full disclosure, I've always loved Panic at the Disco. I may have fallen off a little bit in the last few years and not really paid as much attention as I should have to the last few albums. Brendan Urie has always appealed to me. Whether it's the older Panic stuff, which was more rocky, or the more recent stuff, which is like pop music perfection, he always sings the songs like he's on stage in a Broadway musical. It's absolutely the most fun thing in the world to sing along to. Your eyes are the size of the moon. You could 'cause you can, so you do. And I think a lot of people, myself included, really enjoy music that's in their range.
It's been interesting watching Panic at the Disco's evolution from a full band on their first 2 records to just 2 members for the next couple records to eventually just a straight up solo project.
I will say, one of my favorite things about older Panic at the Disco, which unfortunately doesn't exist anymore, is the fact that on their first album, all of the lyrics were written by the guitarist, and he clearly wrote those lyrics with no melody in mind. And then it was up to the singer to somehow figure out a way to cram all these words into a song, which resulted in some really unique and frankly ludicrous phrasing. That was really charming, and I kind of miss it now that he's become a better songwriter. I mean, listen to this. No one in their right mind writes songs like this.
Please leave all overcoats, canes, and top hats with the doorman. From that moment, you'll be out of place and under duress. I'm wrecking this evening already and loving every minute of it, ruining this banquet for the mildly inspiring and bringing in black slacks with accentuating off-white pinstripes. Whoa.
Just cramming it all in. But yeah, I love this song. It's an older Panic at the Disco song, back when they had more distorted guitars. It's awesome. And now it's time for our Word of the Day. Normally brought to you by Mr. Parr, but today brought to you by his associate, Mr. Hedgehog.
Hello there, it's Mr. Hedgehog again with today's Word of the Day. This week's words are all relating to reading. Today's word is didactic. Didactic. Didactic means it's intended to teach, having a moral instruction. Many children's books, like this one I have here, are didactic. They teach the reader a lesson. Thank you for joining me for today's Word of the Day. I'm ready to get back to reading. How about you?
Thank you so much, Mr. Hedgehog. And now it's time for This Day in History, brought to you by Mrs. Perkins. On this day in 1882, Congress passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, which barred Chinese immigrants from the United States for 10 years. Are we in the Matrix right now? I think there was a glitch in the Matrix. And finally, in 1937, the German airship the Hindenburg, largest dirigible ever made, burst into flames in what became known as the Hindenburg disaster. And now it's time for our Pet of the Day. Today's staff pet of the day goes to Ms. Dyer. Here is my puppy girl, Rena, and my kitty, Monsieur Stitch. They barely tolerate each other's existence, so it's virtually impossible to get a picture of them together. But I love them both. Rena's face in this picture is just too much for me. It's too much. It's too much. And our student pet of the day comes from longtime contributor Jason Ebersol. This is my beardie. His name is Deku. I wish all my animals were with me so I could cuddle them. Question, is your beardie named after the Deku tree from Zelda? And just like that, that does it for our announcements today. So at this point, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everybody, have a great Wednesday, and remember, stay noble knights.